What's going on, guys? Rockley AC here, bringing you guys a deck profile on my first place Golden Great Ape Son Goku deck. A lot of people are like, what? Swap? Definitely not. This deck, on the Awakened side, can be totally taken advantage of by certain cards, and that's kind of what I want to do with this route. I built it a yellow-blue because I feel like those have some of the best cards right now in the meta. Yellow having powerful access to negates such as like Flying Nimbus and defense cards, and then as well as blue, which has obviously been in the meta lately with stuff like Senzu Bean and whatnot. So basically this deck really revolves around taking advantage of both those strong cards in the meta, as well as his Awakened side, which I will definitely get to. So let's start off with a leader. Most of you guys know this from the starter deck. Golden Great Ape Son Goku. When he attacks the leader card, you draw a card, and when life is 4 or less, you flip it, flip 2 of your energy, switch from active mode, and it becomes the SS4 boss leader right here. Auto, when this card attacks, draw a card. Permanent, when your life is less than or equal to your opponent, to your opponent's life, this card gains plus 5k and critical, which you're most likely to have less than life than your opponent in this meta. So his Awakened side is always going to be live. It puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, especially if you're able to awaken before them, either through your self-awakening cards or their pressure, and just being able to swing out for 20k critical every single time they have to waste at least one card. And then there's certain cards in here that buff them to, obviously make your opponent lose cards. But his Awakened side, very strong ability, being able to get plus 5k in critical, again, puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. So let's go ahead with the deck. We'll start off with the battle cards. I go ahead with the negates. You run 4 Flying Nimbus. What's nice about this card is obviously it's a great answer to store and veggie decks that want to attack with multiple cards on field. Especially those new decks right now that have, like maybe Maidens in there where they could drop like a whole bunch of Maidens at a turn with Jimenez. Just a lot of like weenie drops too as well. So Nimbus really comes in clutch. Another great negate is Mufuba. I like running 3 in the main deck just because you never know what you're going to go against. Has a great answer to stuff like Vegito Lock, Bergamo, Annalisa, stuff like that is hard to get around barrier, or like U7 Frieza, something crazy. Always a good card. I Tekken 1 Pilaf because again in this meta, against certain decks, Storm, Swap, Double Strike, Crit, stuff like that, you want to be able to shut off some keyword stuff. So Pilaf is there. He's also helps as a blue energy in case I don't really need it. Combo power. Another defense card is 4 senzu beans. If you're running blue, you got to run 4 of these. It's just so important. Being able to protect against rush or even extend your plays. I mean, there's no downside to running this, aside from that being an extra card, but you should have some at least untapped energy. Now, one of the more broken cards in this deck, Super Combo. I call it a Super Combo because it's literally a super ass combo. Forgive my French. But on the Awakened side, this is really where you want to capitalize this card, 10 times Kamehameha. When you read it, if your leader card is Goku's lineage with Son Goku in its character name, it gains plus 15k power and double strike. So for the duration of the battle. So not only is this more than a 10k boost, it also gives your leader double strike, which is insane. So being able to pump this up on the Awakened side, if your life is less than or equal to your opponent's, he's going to be a 20k critical. Add on 10 times Kamehameha, that's a 35 critical. I usually don't pump it up unless it's for game, if I'm going for game. But obviously, you can pump it up 35k, 60k, whatever, and kind of just go off from your opponent. Sometimes I just like, if I'm playing a slow game, sometimes I like being able to swing with him and just play 1 times Kamehameha. And then, have your opponent waste 3-4 cards out of their hand just to not get that double strike crit. And that's very powerful. I've had a lot of times where I did my opponent wrong by going from 5 to 3, crit just with this card because they didn't want to waste cards out of their hands. So it's a very powerful combo, and that's probably one of my favorites to pretty much put pressure on your opponent. You know, they're going to be losing 2 cards, maybe even another 2 if they don't have the right negate and stuff. So very, very strong. This is a great card with that leader. Another quote-unquote super combo is 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Gokus. He's there for that extra push. Sometimes I like to use it early to gain some card advantage, but really depending on the situation. If I want to push for that, along with, again, his critical side, 20k, become a 30k critical. Again, that just puts so much pressure on your opponent. Onto the main super combos, I run Tupan. She is a card from the new Star deck, I believe, and she's another super combo with Goku's lineage. And the other 2 is, of course, Shugesh. Shugesh really catches a lot of people off guard if they're not main boarding, you know, Time Chronoa or something like that. Especially like Storm decks. Most Storm decks don't play Time Chronoa. Couple other meta decks don't play Time Chronoa in the main board. So you're most likely want to surprise your opponent with this. Don't really use this until it's necessary, and then your opponent tries to go all in, comboing, and then you just Shugesh into your targets and, you know, have them waste their hand. So the targets for that is Ultimate Potential Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan and Explosive Super Spirit or Spirit Son Goku. I like the 2 and 2 split mainly because it depends on the situation. He's a 15k beater, so I could put him in play, swing for 15k if I want to, or he's another blocker against, you know, aggro decks. I could Shugesh combo, put him in play, block like a double striker or something like that. He has barrier also as well, so this is no, you know, stranger to the meta. This is what it was back then, but 2-2 split, that's what I like with the super combos as well as the targets. You could also combo with those 2 as well. Moving on to the rest of the battle cards, so to say. You have your mini Storm package. You have Bardock, able to self-awaken, obviously, swap out if you need to, combo if you want to protect yourself with Will of Iron. You know, you just evolve next turn. If you don't have Will of Iron, then you can just swap into those Go-10s and, you know, get card advantage from there. But basically, that's, you know, part of the meta. Got to play a little bit of it, but that's what makes this deck keep up with the rest because of, you know, a powerful combo. Alright, next card is 4 at all costs Vegettas. I just like a lot of 4 of just for consistency. This could definitely be cut down to 3 or even 2. But he's another finisher for the deck, depending. When you play his card, you draw a card and choose up to 1 of your energy switch to active mode. Which is one of the main reasons why I like this, is because you don't really have a lot of untap options besides your senzu beans, because you don't have like unyielding or anything like that. So being able to have 1 untap for like maybe like a overwhelm card or just, you know, that extra negate for the next turn goes a long way. So even if I drop this on turn 4 or turn 5, I'll be able to maybe push for game from there. But he does have an activate main. Once per turn, choose 2 cards in your life, add them to my hand. Then he gains plus 3k for each energy that I have. And then if I have 5 or more energy, I could choose up to 1 of my opponent's battle cards and KO it. And this card gains triple strike. So very powerful, you know, whether if I drop him in turn 4 for that extra energy and draw, or for the turn 5 for 2 cards in my hand and extra pop. 3 cards technically. So that's another great card. Another great finisher is 4 Dragon Fist SS4 Son Goku. This card is amazing. It's definitely a late game card that really punishes your opponent's board state. His barrier and double strike, which is important. And auto, when this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. So barrier blockers, you know, like the Vegettos, Analyza, Piccolos, whatever, and return to their hand, and then I get to choose up to 2 my energy and switch into active mode. So again, being able to untap energy to use your other combo pieces is extremely powerful. Again, like if I have that in play, being able to untap 2 allows me to maybe go for game with times 10 Kamehameha, or be able to play my last card, which is the 2 overwhelm cards, Scientist Fu. So obviously one of the, if not the best overwhelm card in the game. Just be able to finish this just for overwhelming 7 cards, sending the drop area to the warp, and by paying 1 mana, you're going to be able to swing, draw 2 cards, and go for game. So either with this leader, Scientist Fu, your Dragon Fist, or Vegeta, those are the ways to pretty much lock in the game. You're pretty much just punishing your opponent with his Awaken side effect. So if you're able to Awaken early with Bardock swapping and stuff, Awaken early, take some damage, and then take advantage of his crit opportunities, because your opponent's going to be wasting cards out of their hand, especially if you have combo pieces. They're not going to get those cards to hand because of such a powerful boost. That 5k can go a long way. And again, making it double strike with ×10 Kamehameha really punishes the board, and that's really what I was able to do against my opponent, was to deny them card advantage because of this this leader ability. In terms of like the sideboard, again, it's dependent on your meta. I ran 3 Yajirobis, mainly there against like Vegetos, or decks that have like barrier cards, pretty much. Things that are really hard to get away with. 3 Crusher Balls, go against aggro, those big drops, apes, anything that's really big, like a triple striker or something. 2 Bad Rings, because there's a lot of yellow going around too, or at least in my locals. So being able to Bad Ring Laser, somebody who's trying to Bad Ring Laser your Kamehameha or something like that, again, can just go for game. 2-time control Cronoa. I think you need it at least in the sideboard in this kind of game, because you never know when somebody like me will play shugesh. 2 Double Strike Champas is kind of there for maybe time purposes or something. Definitely another random card to throw in, but can catch your opponent off guard because of all those double strikers. Another peel off if I feel like I need more keyword negation. And then 1 of each of these overwhelm cards, depending on the situation, or if I don't have enough board hate, like I went against a veggie deck, then pretty much go from there. Banisher Fu, great card, probably one of the better overwhelm cards too outside Scientist Fu. Just the whole Fu lineup is broken, so he's a great addition to add to your list. But yeah, that's basically my deck. Again, I went against the SS4 GT, 2-0'd him, tied against a Huragon Veggies. Time purposes, I won 1 matchup and he won the second one. Also went against Mono Red Baby. Baby decks have been popping up recently also. aka hint, check out my recent baby build. And then also casual testing like against SS4 Blue Green. So this deck has performed very well. Again, it was only 1 event, so really not too much to test for, but it is a fun deck. If you want to really abuse the ×10 Kamehameha, like maybe even make this a yellow-red deck or something like that, maybe a lot more aggro with more double strikers, chunks and stuff, try that out. But really it was just mainly to utilize the Bardocks to self-awaken, so you could pressure your opponent with his awakened side, plus 5k critical. It's just so strong. And again, Kamehameha is just like one of the more powerful real super combos in the game. It's just so good. So and again, it gets right around like Annalisa, so stuff like that, when you try to combo, you don't have to discard a card. It's just a great overall like leader, I think, with at least this in the play. It definitely gives a chance against your opponent, especially if you're gonna go aggro. So if you want to go really aggro, build like maybe like yellow-red build or something like that, or try different things. I'm always somebody who wants to encourage other, deck types, deck themes, and everything. I don't normally play meta unless I'm in like the regional season. Otherwise, if I'm really not if I know I'm not going to go to regional for like 2 months, then I'm going to be playing a different deck every week. I just love the variety in this format, even though people say it's not really that diverse. You know, I know SS3 is there, even though SS3 could have 4, 5, 6 different variations. You know, I still think that alone is still pretty good variety. But then also, you know, Hurdagon's in there, Trunks and all that. But people got to experiment outside the box a little bit, and you know, I hope more people do that. You know, and we've been seeing that lately because, you know, people are playing different stuff because of the meta. So I guess that's that. But in general, try out different decks. You know, have a lot of fun. You know, try to really go outside your comfort zone, because I think that will really help you make yourself a better player too, is being able to incorporate other ideas, play test other cards that you may not be familiar with, come up with ideas, and I think that'll help make you a overall well-rounded player. So rate, comment, subscribe. Again, I'm almost up to 500 subs. I did say I'll be doing a contest if I do reach that. So thank you guys again for supporting recently. Hope you guys like the deck. It's very fun. I don't claim it's a meta deck by any means, but you know, it can slip a lot of wins here or there. So try it out. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all guys next time.